All right, peeps, we're in the closet. Welcome.
What's up?
How's you doing?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm in a whirlwind. Getting 7 people ready for the beach is not the easiest task. And I had to take the girls shopping today, and we already know that I don't like to shop. So it was, I sat in the car a lot of the time, I'll just put it that way.
Yeah,
I gave them a head start. I
Right.
just sat in the car and scrolled on my phone and stuff like that. And then when I thought well, they've been in there for a while, they should be close to ready, they were only like halfway done.
So it's you did with them kind of like I did with our wedding. I let you do everything and narrow it down to
Right.
like 3 items,
Right?
and then bring me in and I'll say
Yes.
yes to whichever one you like out of the last 3 items.
Yeah.
You've narrowed it down to.
Pretty much. And then like they brought me their stuff, and I have buyer's anxiety. Like I don't like to spend money, so like I was adding it up on my calculator, and it was getting more and more and more. And the items weren't really expensive in and of themselves.
It's amazing how much stuff adds
It adds up so fast, and I was like getting stressed, but they need it. Like they need shorts. Like they really, it's not like, oh, let's buy some new shorts for fun. Like these girls have grown like in height. So their butts are hanging out of their shorts. So I
Right.
think we need to get,
More
what I'm
than
saying?
normal.
More than normal, exactly.
That's
so,
what we talk about with finances a lot. It's like, how do we not have money? Or how are we so short on money? And it's like, you're like, we don't get anything. And then you look, and then I look at like our I guess it's a bank statement, whatever, and it's like $1.50 for this,
Yeah.
$3.75 for that, $8 for this.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, you rack up these tiny things over 6 people in a household in a day, which could be $30 a day in nothing, literally nothing. A
I
Coke,
know,
a
I know.
Starbucks, a pack of gum.
I know.
$30 a day times 30. That's a lot of money. a
I
month.
know. We spend a lot of money, but
It's like-
I just am stressed enough about it.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to stress about it. I'm just saying it's funny how things just
It's-
add up that you don't even think about it. It's like you have to be so hard on
Yeah.
yourself to keep from spending the money.
Honestly, I just want to go to the beach, spend what we have to, get home, and then just like seriously crack down and start like figuring out a budget. And so I hate feeling all this pressure.
I do too.
So anyway,
But
that's
I
not-
appreciate you. I appreciate you for, caring enough to not want to spend stupid money.
Yeah, dude, you're lucky.
Because you could be like a lot of folks out there, a lot of ladies, and just be like, I'm beautiful. I do a lot for this family. I'm going to get me a Coach purse.
Well,
Which I believe you do. I do believe those things. I believe you're beautiful. I believe you do more than anybody for this family, by 10 times at least. And you do deserve to go get a purse, Coach. But just because you're beautiful and you do more and you deserve it doesn't mean that it's feasible.
Right. I did buy, listen to this, catch this. I bought 2 pair of shorts and 4 tank tops today at Walmart.
Yep.
Guess how much it was?
How much?
$20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you bargain shopping.
I know, because the shorts were like $5 a piece, and then like the tank tops were like 2 a piece. Isn't that
You get
good?
it. Yeah, it's good. It's freaking
I
awesome.
know. And like Nate's stuff I get cheap, so it's like I do the best.
Say they
I-
last a summer.
Yeah.
Say they last a month. I mean, that's nothing.
Right.
So going out and
anyway.
buying like freaking.
And I didn't even want to do that. I had to buy a bathing suit today, which that was $20, which that's not that bad for a whole bathing suit. But I don't know. It's just like you plan these vacations and you're so excited about the vacation, but the stress that comes like prior to it, like getting ready and buying the stuff, and even when you're there, like spending money, it's like, oh, I wish I could have just saved money and said, this is our vacation money, now we can go spend it. But when you live in a situation like we do, and a lot of people do, you live paycheck to paycheck. You can't do that.
Yeah, you got a lot to pay for. You got a lot to deal
So
with.
anyway,
You
God,
got a lot of food to feed.
these kids eat
Kids.
like crazy.
In the summer, it's even worse.
Yeah, because they sit home all day and they're bored, and all they want to do is eat. Anyway,
And then I go tonight and I order 2 pizzas and have them delivered to 2 places.
I don't even know how you did that.
So I get on my Papa John's app because the girls want some pizza. They have a deal on there. the extra large for $12. So I jump on there and I order it, and I hit the thing, and it says delivery, and it says confirm address, and it has this address to this house.
Okay.
So I confirmed that address. Well, then I got done with customizing my pizza. And then it popped up and it gave me a list of houses, and it had this house,
So sad that we live
1136 Havenstone Walk in Atlanta, and then it had our house over on over on Spring Hill Avenue. Well, I thought I selected this house. Then I get a call 30 minutes later from a guy from an Atlanta number, and he's like, "Mr. Jeff?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "This is Jim, the Papa John's driver. I'm at your address." And I was like,
No.
"Oh yeah, man, I just realized what happened." He's like, "What's that, Mr. Jeff?" And I go, "You know, everybody down there calls you by Mr. your first name, or Mrs. your first name." So I'm down there,
Yeah.
or he's down there at our other address, and I'm gonna pause this.
Bye.
So Mike is not Mike. Jim at Papa John's is at our house at 1136 Havenstone Walk in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I said I made a mistake. I don't know how I had it sent there. I must have accidentally selected in the app, but I haven't lived at that house since like 2012.
Oh my gosh. Was anybody there?
I don't know. I said, I guess somebody gets a free pizza, and he just laughed. He said, "It's okay, Mr. Jeff." And I said, "Okay, well, I went ahead and ordered another Papa John's pizza to have it delivered to this house." He's like, "Okay, Mr. Jeff." He's like, "Do you want me to call the store and see if they'll void out this order for you, or do you want to call them?" And I said, "I'll call them, man.
Oh,
Just
that
give me
was
the
nice.
number." So he gave me the number. I called. They voided it out.
Who ate the pizza?
Probably Jim. Jim probably got him a pizza.
I want to know if anybody's living at that house.
I'm sure there are people living at that house.
Well, they should have gotten the pizza on you.
Well, they should have, but they didn't.
Why was he calling you? Because nobody was there?
Probably.
Wouldn't that be funny if somebody answered the door and they were like, "We did not order a pizza"?
I've done that before. I've answered the door and been like, "Yeah, I didn't order a pizza."
What?
Here before, yeah. And I don't know if it was across the street or somewhere down the road.
I would have been like, they paid you when they called, right? And if he'd have been like, "Yeah," I'd be like, "All right, thanks, man," and then you have a free pizza. You would be able to sleep at night,
And
wouldn't you?
somebody would have been without the pizza.
I know.
I'll just order a freaking pizza if I need pizza.
Well, I mean, I know. Do you know what happened to Brooke today in the Starbucks line
No.
at Target?
I wasn't there.
Here's what happens to her. And I thought this man was weird because I saw him, like Brooke had already paid. And by the time I got up there, Brooke had already paid. She was waiting at the other end for her drink. But I saw him approach these other girls saying, like talking to me, but I couldn't figure out what he was saying or whatever. Then he came up to me and he was like, "Are you getting ready to go here?" I was like, "To Starbucks?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No, I'm just waiting for my daughter." He was like, "Oh." Well, Brooke said that he came up to her and he saw her get $20 out of her lanyard. And he said, "Hey, are you getting Starbucks?" And she said, "Yeah." And he said, "Do you want to take this $20 Starbucks card and I'll take your cash?" And she was like, "No." He goes, "But you're getting Starbucks." She was like, "Yeah, but I'm gonna need this cash later." I bet you that Starbucks card didn't even work.
No, he just picked it up off the counter.
Yeah, he wanted.
Yeah,
he was totally
He's
trying to scam people.
He's scamming people he thinks are dumb kids.
I'm just glad that she was smart enough to not fall for it.
No, we don't fall for that. We do that.
She was like, "No, I need this cash later." It's like,
Yeah,
gosh, that's
cash is
weird
king,
that-
man. You never give your cash away.
That's just weird that
Somebody would try
he's
something
like
that's stupid.
loitering around Starbucks. If I would have had enough time and energy and didn't have anything else to do, I would have gone back in and complained and said, "You need to watch out for this guy." But we were already to the car. I had already been in Target for an hour with these girls. I'm just like, out. People are weird.
People are weird.
People are real weird.
Well, I'm going to go back to when I appreciated you because I
Oh,
want
yeah.
to talk about appreciation a little bit
Okay,
in this podcast.
go ahead.
And I'm reading a book which it touched on appreciation.
Are you reading it or listening to it?
No, I'm reading this one. I always am reading 1 or 2, and I'm listening to 4 or 5.
Oh my gosh, that's too much.
So
Go
I'm in
ahead.
between. Depends on what I'm wanting to
I
listen
would
to.
overlap the topics and the stories.
You think you would, but you really don't. You really don't, unless you care, and I don't. What made me think about it is I was doing a sales call this morning with my agents a conference call with several of them, and that we were talking about hiring good people, which is very difficult to do. And this guy's in Princeton, and he said, "Is it easier in Charleston?" And the agents, we were saying, no, it's not easier to hire good talent or good people in Charleston just because there's a lot more people here. And
Right.
he said, yeah, and then we were talking about how to interview people. We're just talking about, brainstorming about the best people to interview, where to find people, dating for business owners, trying to figure out how to find some good people. But anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. He said, you know what, when I was a young man in my first job, he said, I was out of school, and he said, I really wanted to work at this place, and I got the guy said, okay, I'll give you a couple interviews. He said, the first interview, though, is I want to have dinner with you and talk to you, more of a casual thing. And he said that he had dinner. They went through dinner, and he got through with dinner, and the guy said, you're hired. And he said, what do you mean I'm hired? We haven't even done the interview yet. Well, this is just like he said, this was your interview. The way you interact and treat the waitress is the way you're going to treat my clients and the people that come into my business every day. And he said, I always want to see how people treat staff, how people treat other people, if they talk down to them, if they're appreciative to them, if if they're polite, or what their demeanor is. So I thought that was really cool to, observe how someone does things at a dinner without them knowing.
Well, because too, I think that's cool too, because when you're in a interview situation, I feel like that everybody has their best foot forward. They want to say the right answers. But when you're at dinner, I mean, even though you don't really know these people, so you're still maybe not putting on, but you're really being careful. You're a little more relaxed and, like you said, a little more yourself. You're not going to be sitting across the desk from someone in an interview and act the same way you would be probably sitting across from the dinner table, because you're more relaxed, more laid back. It doesn't feel like this formal interview,
Right, and that's the thing, is when someone, when you're interviewing someone, it's really hard because you can just be a really good interviewer.
Oh, I've had that happen to me before. I've interviewed a few.
Yeah,
I've interviewed and hired a couple trainers, and it's kind of came back and bit me in the butt.
I have too.
They give you the right answers. They tell you what they want you to hear.
Well, we all have. I mean, when I was younger, I did it in interviews. I'm a little less worry about it nowadays.
Yeah.
Because I know the consequences of you got to pay up for what you promise.
Well, sure, you got to live up
when
to it.
you're young, though, you're just worried about getting it. You're not worried about how to deal with it. You're like, I'll figure it out later. I'll tell them I can do it. I'll tell them I'm a specialist at Excel spreadsheets when I've never done one before.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or stuff like that. And it's like you get done, and then you're freaking trying to figure out how to do stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I like the relaxed environment setting. I like that.
That's a good idea.
I know that you're there to impress the person, but you can't always suppress your natural ways of treating people and acting towards other human beings.
Right. That's a good point.
So I thought it was kind of good.
That is nice. I like it.
Yes, in this book I'm reading, which is a very, very good book for people, just for life and how to treat people, and it's called, and you've heard of it. People have heard of it. Probably a lot of people have read it, but it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh, I've heard of that.
My good friend Ryan Fitzer referred me this book, and I've listened to it. I'm going to read you a little piece about appreciation on here.
Okay.
It says, when a study was made a few years ago on runaway wives, what do you think was discovered to be the main reason wives ran away?
Appreciation?
It was lack of appreciation.
Yes.
And I bet that a similar study made of runaway husbands would come out the same way. We often take our spouses so much for granted that we never let them know we appreciate them. Isn't that freaking true?
Yes. Is that why you texted me out of the blue the other day?
That was honest. I'm being honest with you. That was before I read this.
No. Really?
That I think But I was reading this book, so maybe something else sparked it.
Yeah.
Whatever it was,
I mean,
something
it's
did
okay.
spark it to make me want to tell you I appreciate you.
You
And
just
it was probably this book.
You didn't want me running away.
Well, I don't want you running away, but I mean, it hits you pretty hard when you're like, I never verbalize it. She
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, guys, they know I appreciate.
Yeah.
But even if you know or you think you know, it's nice to
Hearing it,
hear it, right?
yes.
So that's what I mean. And at work, the people you work closest to,
Yeah.
you tell them thank you. You know, I always tell people when, you know, if Cindy does something for me, like she does things for me all the time. She helped me today with some things. And I say thank you.
Right.
But it's different when you tell somebody, you know what, hey, I just want to make sure you know
Yeah.
that I appreciate all you do.
Yeah.
And and that's something I don't do enough for the people close to
Yeah.
me.
You know what?
You
That's
only do it when it's really you're gaining something
Yeah.
that's not expected.
You know what's funny? It's funny you brought this up tonight because, you know, the old man at the gym, 92-year-old or 93-year-old John that loves me to death, you know what I mean? And, you know, he takes up so much of my time, and I find myself sometimes getting, like, inside. I never show it outwardly to him, of course, but getting a little bit frustrated or whatever. And he was in the gym the other night, and he goes, hey, are you going to be here tomorrow? And I was like, yeah. He goes, I'm bringing you something. I'm going to bring you a surprise. And I was like, okay. He goes, just be thinking about it from now till then. I was like, okay. So I come in the gym tonight, and first thing Chaz says is, John's looking for you. And I'm like, oh, gosh. Here he comes around the corner. No, he comes around the corner, and he goes, I left you something in the office there by that big printer. And I was like, okay. And I went in, and it was a jar of blackberry jam that he gets. And I came out, and I was like, oh, my gosh, I love this so much. I mean, I'm not going to eat it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to eat this.
Right, I know you.
I mean,
you're not.
I don't eat jam, but the kids might. But I was like, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. He goes, well, before I leave, I've got you another surprise. I was like, okay. And so right before I was getting ready to leave, he goes, are you leaving? I said, yep. And he said, come here. And he pulled it out of his pocket, and it was in plastic. And it was like a jam spreader. And he goes, you know what that is? I said, yeah, you spread your jam with it. He goes, but look at that sharp part on the edge. And I was like, what is that for, to cut it? He goes, well, you can cut the crust off. He goes, but also if you scrape it along your toast, it puts like more ridges in your toast, and that jam will get down in there. And he was like giving me all these
Oh
tips.
my
Yeah, it was
gosh.
so funny. He's 90.
So you have the
something.
knife?
Yeah, it's in
'Cause
my
that
gym
sounds
bag.
awesome.
So anyway, then he said, are you getting ready to leave? I said, yeah. He goes, I forgot my cane. Will you walk me to my car? Anyway, I'm telling you all this for a point. So then I help him to his car, whatever. I sit down. He goes, you know why I gave you that jam, don't you? And I said, no, I do not. He said, because I appreciate you. I appreciate what you do for me. And I was like, I wanted to cry because normally inside I'm like kind of dreading talking to him and stuff. But I think that because Chaz and I take time, like he's gotten Chaz socks before and stuff like that. And I think it's because we take the time to sit and talk to him, and maybe he's lonely. He appreciates that. And he said, what did he say? I always buy people stuff that I appreciate every once in a while. But I'd never spend more than $4 because I don't want them to think that I like went way out of my way to do something real big. But I want to do something little just to let them know I appreciate them. But never over $4 unless it's tax.
I like that. I do. I like that.
Yeah,
I like
and
that.
so and so
Because if you get somebody something too much, it's like, I've got to pay him back.
Yeah, that's kind of
You
what
have
he was.
that,
I
like-
think that's where he was trying to go
Yeah.
with it. But it was really sweet. He sat in his car. He's like, "It's because I appreciate you." And I mean, that made me. I feel like I don't do anything for him, especially because I get so frustrated sometimes with him. But you don't know the impact that you're making on people. You know.
Yeah, we
And
have.
for someone that I do so little for, to say something and to do something out of appreciation, and today, you know, I mean, my kids don't mean it. I think Kaylee did say thank you once, but like I bought them all this. I took them, but we bought them
You
all
did the
this
hard
stuff
part, yeah.
for the beach and stuff, and I think that they expect it, and I didn't. I don't feel like they really. I mean, I think they appreciated it, but like you said, verbalizing it, if they would have looked at me in the car and said, like, "Mom, we really appreciate it. Thanks for taking us today," that would have really.
It makes a big difference.
I'd be like, okay, that was all
Right.
all that frustration. That I like that.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, that's what the book is getting to, and I'm only like 100 pages in. But I mean, it's talking about all the ways to deal with people. It talks about how you shouldn't, which is wild when you like read and give read the examples and what he talks about. You shouldn't You never ever motivate anybody by putting them down and telling them they suck.
No.
Right? But people do it constantly. You tell your kids they suck. They might suck at something. You don't say they suck, but you're like, my gosh, you can't do that.
Right.
Are you stupid? Like you can't. Or an employee, you're like, you only accentuate the negative. Like if you
Right.
have a review, you skim over their positive notes, right? So because selfishly, and two, it makes people naturally feel better about themselves when they have the power to point out a fault in somebody else.
Yes.
But he talks about in this book, if you want people to really kill for you and fight for you and work with you, and you're a leader, you build them up through their positives.
Yeah, because
I'm
they
that
want
way.
to work. Yeah.
You like me, like when I've had bosses that beat down on me and I shut down. But I swear, you tell me I'm doing a good job, or you can even give me constructive criticism in a negative way, and not a negative way,
Right.
and I'm fine. I'm like a freaking lab. You pet me, I'll be the happiest guy in the world, and I'll work 10 times harder and longer.
I mean, I think that you need to, if somebody is not performing properly in their
You
job,
have to confront
You have to confront that, but there is, like you said, a way to go about it. You know what I mean? Like, not being like, you suck, like you said, like, you suck at this. Like, why don't you quit doing, but you can't let it go either, because you can't baby everybody. You're not gonna.
No. You
can't-
have to have the hard conversations. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that, and I don't think the book's saying that. They're saying is, there's a better way to motivate people and get the most out of them without berating them and telling
yeah, for
telling
sure.
them they're bad at it.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
You know
go
what? You're
far.
really bad at this.
Yeah.
You suck at spreadsheets. You're really bad at it, and it's part of your job. You know what I mean? And you're good at some other stuff. Instead, there's got to be a better way to approach it. I'm not saying I have those answers. Like I said, I'm only 100 pages in the book, but he talks about that and appreciation and a lot of other things, which I like a lot. I think it's important. He talks about let's see. Well, shoot. What was I going to say?
I don't know. I can't finish I'm not in your. I don't have that chip. You forgot to put that chip in your brain where I could
Read my mind?
Your mind. You know what I'm saying? That we talked about the other night. You opted out, so therefore I cannot read your mind.
Well, that sucks.
I know. So maybe you need to re-up on that.
Oh, here's what it gets into. The difference between appreciation and flattery.
Ooh, I don't
That is
like
simple.
flattery.
Yeah, that is simple. One is sincere and the other insincere. One comes from the heart out, the other from the teeth out.
I
One is
hate
unselfish, the other is
flattery.
selfish.
I hate flattery. Hate it. Like, don't tell me something if you don't really mean it, or don't say it because there's something you're wanting out of it, so you're telling me. You know what I'm saying? Like it. And two, I hate this. We get into this all the time. Like, I'll say, like, what's an example? Like, maybe I'll say, like, I maybe feel bloated one day, or I feel like so big today. I feel like I weigh 700 pounds. I'll say something stupid like that. And then you continue to give me compliments all day. I don't like that either. Like, I want a compliment to come out of nowhere, kind of.
Right.
Like, instead of, like, you sense, like, because of what I said, that I have a need. Because I can tell that. Like, don't just sit here and don't tell me now. You know what I mean? Like, because
Well, I
I
always
just
tell
said
you.
that. No, I'm just saying. No, you don't always.
I tell you a lot, don't I?
No, you do. But I'm
I
just,
mean, I guess I
I was
don't.
just using that as an example.
Right.
Like,
I
or,
get what you're saying.
you know what I mean?
It's just dudes trying to make you feel better because that's what I believe.
And you can, I
Completely.
can spot flattery, and when somebody really means it from miles away.
But flattery, that's not necessarily flattery because you're saying it's insincere. It is not insincere. When I say
Well, maybe it's not flattery.
flattery
and
is when
and
it's
that
insincere.
I'm not saying it in that sense with you. I'm not thinking that you're trying to. I know you're sincere about.
But I know what
things
you're
you
saying.
say, but
It's just
the
it's
timing
trying.
of when
It's,
you say
it's,
things to people.
it's not good when you
Yeah.
give an insecurity and then somebody just starts.
Yeah.
But a lot of people give that insecurity because they want you to give them.
Right.
You know what I mean? They want that. You don't, and I know that. But it's so hard when someone you care about says something negative that you don't see,
Yeah.
and you just want to tell them,
Right.
or you want to shake them.
Right.
You know?
No, right. I know.
But this is good too. He says, "That's all flattery is: cheap praise." I once read a definition of flattery that may be worth repeating. Flattery is telling the other person precisely what he thinks about himself.
Huh?
You're basically telling them what they think about themselves. You're trying to what they want to think about themselves, or what they think about themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they true like a lot of times when you see somebody, you know, like for me, like art. If I think I'm good at it,
Yeah.
and you tell me, you know, I don't know if that's a good example. You're telling somebody, if you're wanting to get something from somebody and you're wanting to flatter them, you know, and you see that they're, you know, you see that they're obviously good at something, you just give them cheap praise.
Yeah, nobody
On
wants
that.
that. Nobody wants that. I know I
Just
don't.
cheap praise, just to try to kiss their ass.
I know. I don't
Which
want
you got to just be better at kissing ass. You got to be more clever when it comes to kissing ass.
I just don't want anyone to tell me something just because they want to get something out of it, or you know what I mean. Like I'm not all about that. I don't like that at all. Random compliments you can tell that are sincere are the best.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sorry, this is deep for me right now after the day that I've had. I would usually have more to say and I'd have more input, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm in fog right now. Like I'm technically on vacation right now. Like I'm not working anymore until the 17th. But I feel like I'm in a fog.
A fog day?
I feel like I'm in a fog. Like I like on medication or something. Like I can't focus. So sorry if I'm like
No, we're good, man.
anyway. I like it. Thanks for bringing that to the table.
Well, I mean, it's something we could talk about quite a bit.
I appreciate you for that.
Don't flatter me. My voice feels like it's going to go. Like I felt like my voice, I can't fluctuate today.
But your voice is so amazing.
It's not. It's terrible. I feel like it's going to go.
See
any
what I was
minute.
doing there?
Yeah. Very, very annoying. Very annoying.
Oh gosh. I don't know. You have anything else here?
No, I'm done. Another one of the books.
Bring some more from your book next time.
I will.
One of your mini.
I keep my notes.
7. You're reading 7 books or something.
I'm listening to like 4 and reading a couple.
Dude, I don't know how you do it. I can barely get through my day. I don't have extra
it
time.
takes me forever, but
I know, but I mean, I couldn't even imagine starting to read a book. Like, when am I going to read a book?
any break I have, I'm reading. If I go to
Where's
the
the
bathroom, I'm reading. I don't get on social media. I get on social media,
Social media
throughout
is
the
part of my
day.
job, though.
so I read that. But then I'm just trying to make a concerted effort to get 10 pages a day in somehow, some way. It's just the goal.
More power
That's
to
like
you.
13 books a year.
More
So,
power to you.
and the ones I listen to, if I get in the car, I'm listening to that or a podcast. If I'm working out, I'm listening to a book or a podcast.
Oh no, I can't do
If
that.
if I'm working around the house cutting grass, I'm always
No.
listening to a book.
See, that's where you're more booky, I'm more musicy. I have
Yeah,
that
yeah,
music.
yeah, and that's okay. I'm just trying to get smarter with age, and it's not working. But anyway,
All right. Well, my kids are blowing me up. I told them that we had to have a family meeting in about 15 minutes, and now
come to
like,
Jesus.
are we in trouble? What is it about? I'm nervous. And they're
Let's
all
let him
texting me.
just wait it out.
I know, right?
All right, let's do
Okay.
this.
All right, bye.
We out.